guys, how's it going? TJ here with Dead History, and today is our next presidential series installment looking at the guy behind us, the 17th President of the United States. Who is that, Henry?
Andrew Johnson, hi.
That's right, Henry here with me. That's right, Andrew Johnson behind us. We both hope that everybody really enjoyed our very special 4-part series about Abraham Lincoln last week, but today we're taking a look at his successor, Andrew Johnson. First though, Henry, what do they have to do?
Hit the sign down below.
That's right. Leave your likes, comments, thumbs up, all that stuff. And then they got to hit what? That little
notification button.
That's right, that little notification bell. Because then you can know when we put out a new video, which of course is when, Henry?
Every single week.
Every single week. Henry's always spot on, that's right. So now, here we go. Sit back and relax. We're going to take a look at the 17th President of the United States, Andrew Johnson. And this is
Dead History.
Dead History. Hey guys, TJ and Henry back with you.
Hi.
Henry, who's that behind us? Tell them.
Andrew Johnson.
That's right. And what number president?
17th.
That's right. Very good, dude. The 17th President of the United States, Andrew Johnson. We actually do have some really cool things to tell you about Andrew Johnson.
What?
Yeah, we know. He may be considered one of the worst presidents we've ever had, actually. But some cool things such as Andrew Johnson never went to school. Yeah,
What?
he never had a formal education or schooling.
What?
We're going to get into all that. Plus, as we know, he was the very first president to ever take over office as vice president. He took over office as president when a sitting president not just died, was assassinated. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, of course, and Andrew Johnson, as vice president, had to take over. First time that ever happened in history. So we're going to get into all that. And also, the unfortunate thing about Andrew Johnson, he holds the distinction of being the very first president in United States history to ever be impeached. And yep, that's right. And we're, of course, in this day and age, we're very familiar with impeachment over the last several years. So we're going to get into all that about Andrew Johnson. But again, what we need you to do the subscribes, do the likes, do the comments, leave those questions. We love questions. Right,
Yes,
Henry?
we do. We love them. We love them.
And now we got to sit back and relax. Grab some chips, as Henry would say, some popcorn, whatever you want.
Gotta have chips.
That's right. And we're going to sit and take a look at the man behind us, the 17th President of the United States, Andrew Johnson. Enjoy. Hey guys, how's it going? TJ here with Dead History, and I'm here with my son Henry.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
And we are back for our next presidential series installment, and we're taking a look at the 17th President of the United States. Who's that, Henry?
Andrew Johnson.
That's right, Andrew Johnson. Very good. So, we're going to jump right in here. We do have things to cover with Johnson, but obviously not nearly as much as we had with Lincoln, of course.
Oh, not even close.
Not even close, that's true. So, just jumping right in. Andrew Johnson was born in Raleigh, North Carolina on December 29th of 1808. He was born to Jacob Johnson and Mary Polly McDonough. She was a laundress. He was of English, Irish ancestry. He had a brother, William, 4 years older than him, and an older sister, Elizabeth, who actually died in childhood. Johnson's birthplace was actually in a 2-room shack, and it was a political asset in the mid-19th century, and he would actually frequently remind voters of his humble origins, which is interesting because that's the exact opposite thing that Abraham Lincoln did. His predecessor did not boast or use his humble origins as a political tool. Andrew Johnson, however, did. What I'm going to show you right here now, actually, on the screen, is actually the birthplace of Andrew Johnson. I visited there, actually, it was just this past January. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that I went there. So in Raleigh, North Carolina, there's this little, state park, or it's, county park, whatever it is. I believe it's called Mordecai State Park. And it holds what is known as the actual birthplace, house, kitchen, so to speak, of Andrew Johnson. So that's actually what you're seeing here on the screen. It's very small. It's not anything like, crazy. As a matter of fact, like the sign says right there, the small kitchen in which the 17th President of the United States was born stands 65 yards to the west. And then there's a little thing, birthplace of Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson, the 17th President of the United States, was born in this house on December 29th of 1808. At that time, the house stood on Fayetteville Street. And then in July of 1904, it was purchased by the colonial dames and later presented to the city of Raleigh. So they preserve it here. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is it Mordecai? I think it's Mordecai State Park. Let me just double check that for you so I'm not telling you. Yep, it is. It's Mordecai Historic Park. I apologize. And that's right there in Raleigh. So those pictures that you've been seeing, that is the house or the kitchen inside of that house where Andrew Johnson was born. And actually here, take a look. There's a little minute-long video of me there too. So take a look here. Hey guys, how's it going? TJ here with Dead History. And I am actually standing right here at, I believe it's called Mordecai State Park or Historical Park in Raleigh, North Carolina. And what you're actually looking at, let me turn you around. What you are actually looking at right there is the birthplace of our 17th president, Andrew Johnson. As you see right there. So Andrew Johnson, 17th president, was born in this house on December 29th, 1808. At that time, the house stood on Fayetteville Street, and in July of 1904, it was purchased by the Colonel Dames and later presented to the city of Raleigh. So there you go. So this house used to be, obviously, like it said, on a street in Raleigh, and it was since moved, but this is the actual house that Andrew Johnson was born in. 17th President of the United States. So, pretty cool stuff. Make sure to take a look, guys. So there you go, the birthplace of Andrew Johnson. So now some interesting things about Johnson. When Andrew Johnson was only 3, his father Jacob actually died, and his mother, Mary McDonough Johnson, she remarried, and she later sent him and his brother out as indentured servants to a tailor named James Selby. The brothers actually ran away from their bond after 2 years, and on June 24th of 1824, James Selby advertised in a newspaper a reward of $10 for anyone who would return the brothers to him. However, the Johnson brothers were never, ever captured and returned. But pretty crazy. He was actually an indentured servant at one point in his life. So, pretty crazy stuff. Andrew Johnson actually never went to school. A lot of people are like, what? But he truly didn't. He had no formal education whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, showing you right here. Here we go. Born December of 1808, as I said, Raleigh, North Carolina. Working class parents. Johnson enjoyed few privileges while growing up. His childhood home was a log cabin. His father died in 1812. And he worked instead of attending school and, again, apprenticed as a tailor. And though Johnson taught himself the fundamentals of reading, he didn't receive a formal education until marrying Eliza Mcardle in Tennessee in 1827. And Eliza Mcardle, his wife, taught him the basics of math and writing, skills that would eventually aid in his acquisition of real estate and lead to prosperity he once considered out of reach. Following his success, he rose in the ranks of Tennessee politics. He eventually became mayor of Greenville before entering the U.S. House of Representatives in 1843. That's Greenville, Tennessee, by the way. He then became governor of Tennessee in 1853 and a senator in 1857. Johnson, he never attended school. He taught himself to read. Once him and his brother escaped from their the guy Selby, who he actually Johnson opened up his own tailoring shop in order to make money. And you can actually see his little tailor shop, his backwoods tailor shop, at the Andrew Johnson National Historic Site in Greenville, Tennessee. I was in Greenville because that's where he's buried, so I've been to his gravesite, but I did not visit the tailor shop or the little homestead of Johnson. I'll show you pictures here on the screen right now of that stuff, but these are not my photos. I do not take credit for these. I did not do these, did not take these. On May 17th of 1827, Johnson married Eliza Mcardle, as I just mentioned. She was the daughter of a shoemaker, and the pair of them lived in Greenville, Tennessee. Despite having lost her father as a young girl, Eliza was quite well educated and spent some time helping Johnson increase his reading and writing skills. And together they had 3 sons and 2 daughters. So, interesting stuff there about Johnson and his marriage. By the time that Johnson became president, his wife was an invalid. She was an invalid. She was confined to her room all the time. And their daughter, Johnson's daughter Martha, served as the hostess during formal functions. Little side back note about his tailor shop. He actually opened up his tailor shop when he was just 19. By the age of 22, he was elected to be mayor of Greenville, Tennessee. He served as mayor for 4 years. Then he was elected to the Tennessee House of Reps in 1835. And then he became state senator of Tennessee, elected to Congress in 1843. He was the U.S. representative from Tennessee from 1843 until he was elected as governor of Tennessee in 1853. He then became a U.S. senator in 1857. And while in Congress, he supported the Fugitive Slave Act and the right to own enslaved people. So yeah, he did support that. However, when states started to secede from the Union in 1861, Johnson was the only Southern senator who did not agree. Because of this, he retained his seat, and Southerners viewed him as a traitor. And ironically, Johnson saw both secessionists and abolitionists as enemies to the Union. So, very strange stuff. The South thought he was a traitor. He voted for slavery, but yet he thought abolitionists were the same as secessionists. They were traitors to the Union. I mean, just kind of very all over the place with Johnson. Right now, I'm actually going to show you a little cool thing. A little side note. This is actually a cannonball that is stuck in a church wall in Greenville, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yep. What this is a relic from the Civil War when every building was evidently in the line of fire. And the plaque on this church, these pictures you're seeing, I took these, it says it was built on land that was owned by Vice President Andrew Johnson, which is maybe another reason why someone took a pot shot at it. So, kind of...
Pot shot? What the heck is a pot shot?
Pot shot means somebody that, fired on it.
Oh, shot the cannon?
Yeah, yep. So, it says here, just to the upper right of the entrance to the Cumberland Presbyterian Church on Main Street is a Civil War cannonball. The cannonball in the front wall was fired there September 4th of 1864 during the skirmish in which General John H. Morgan lost his life. The tree was removed. It is clearly visible from within a vehicle when approaching from the north. So, that's a little thing about that cannonball. And it was apparently a building or land owned by Andrew Johnson. So interesting stuff there. Little side note, I forgot to mention this regarding the Birthplace House. And I'll show another couple pictures of that right now. I don't mean to backtrack, but I wanted to read this. The parents of Andrew Johnson, future president of the United States, lived and worked in the detached kitchen of a roadside tavern called Casso's Inn.
Casso's Inn?
That's where Andrew was born, in an upstairs loft. And on December 29th of 1808, the building, being useful and fairly portable, was moved around town, and it even served as a flop house for hobos during the Great Depression. It was only after 150 years of neglect that the birthplace was recognized as a worthy presidential attraction, restored, and moved to the Mordecai Historical Park, a kind of orphanage for Raleigh's old buildings. It resembles a tiny home or a large shed. Various plaques outside call attention to the importance of the building. So I did want to mention that, and that's, kind of what you're seeing here. Okay, moving on. Andrew Johnson actually bought Alaska. Yeah, So pretty interesting stuff.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. For well over a century, Russia had claimed possession of Alaska. The Russians had first explored the 586,000 square mile territory during an expedition in 1741. Fur trading proved bountiful for years, but a slow decline of the export and increased concern there would be overrun by American or British forces led Russia into discussion to sell the land to the U.S. in the 1850s. So after the Civil War, Secretary of State William Seward expressed interest, and by March 30th of 1867, Johnson's administration had secured Alaska for $7.2 million in gold. The property didn't seem worthwhile to political observers who labeled it Johnson's Polar Bear Garden and Walrussia in mocking editorials. Congress delayed the transaction until Johnson failed to secure the Democratic Party nomination for president in 1868, which of course we're going to get into. Secretary of State William Seward, he arranged for the United States to purchase Alaska, as I said, and this was also known as, this was called Seward's Folly by the press and others who felt it was just foolish. And again, you know, foolish or not, it passed, and there you have it. That was all about Andrew Johnson, and he bought Alaska. So pretty interesting stuff. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to stop this video. This was part one, a look at Andrew Johnson's, birthplace. Of course, he moved to Tennessee, his meeting his wife and being married, his kind of early politics. That's what this part one was about for Andrew Johnson. Part two, we're going to dive into the presidency and, of course, right, Henry? His gravesite, but also the impeachment, him being impeached.
Impeached.
Yeah, that's right. So that'll be part two tomorrow. So stay tuned. Again, we thank all you guys for the subscribers. Thanks for everything, all the support. We love it.
Yep, we do.
And keep watching. Stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bye.
Bye-bye.